Hello, it's Crypto CJ. It's a trade of the day, Thursday night slash Friday morning Zoom edition, depending where in the world you are. And we're international today. I'm in Thailand, and Craig, as always, in New Zealand. Robert's chilling on the waters in California. Got Robin in North Carolina, and Frank also in California. So I think that covers everybody that I know who's on here. A couple I can't quite identify in the participant list. So if you guys want to chime in on this on the chat, let us know where you're coming from. That would be great. The markets, well, Bitcoin broke 58K, hopefully on its way to 60 and blasting through that. We're still in what I hear is Rectember for September, pushing towards October and October. Got to a little more than halfway to go for this month. But in my last Zoom call, I was attending with some friends who tell me that retail interest seems to be increasing based on some information they had. So that's pretty cool. The overall, I tried to get a beat on the overall economic news, but my usual sources are letting me down. Um, Anybody want to chime in on that? I thought we had CPI numbers coming out or something like that. Anyone?
Yeah, I know
Anyone?
we have CPI, I think, comes out next week. Inflation dropped to, I believe, somewhere around 2.5 to 3%, which was considered positive.
Okay, that's what threw me off because I saw core PPI actually go up from point 0.3 to point. It's forecast of point 0.2 and up to point 0.3, but that's might be a different stat. So
And the other big thing not happening till next week is the
interest
announcement of hopefully they'll drop the interest rate.
interest
I mean,
rates, yeah.
it's already baked in. That's going to be 0.25%. Nobody really thinks they're going to do the half. That would be even better. But bank loans are at the lowest they've been at for a year and a half, apparently, for mortgages in the low 6 point something range, which is still considered very high from where they were, but it
Hmm.
starts to boost the economy,
Yeah.
is the housing market moving.
I remember having a mortgage at 6 5/8 in the late 90s, so but the prices were considerably lower.
I've had mortgages everywhere from about as high as 15%,
Oh, it sounds
believe
like
it or
the
not,
80s.
in the 80s
Yeah,
after the big.
that's the wrong one, my friend. I see you turning down
Oh,
there.
sorry about
The
that.
wrong
That's
one. Keep coming down.
Uh-oh.
the talk radio. Anyway.
I had a 21% mortgage in the 80s.
Wow, got a
Wow,
credit card
that's even
mortgage.
crazy.
Oh, just reverse out of there.
But now it's really low. I got lucky and hit the bottom of the bottom,
Nice.
which during the pandemic when they were like giving away loans.
Yeah, those were the good old days, 4 years
Yeah,
ago.
right.
All
That
right,
was
so that's the market overall, financial situation overall. Anybody else have anything to chime in on that before we look at the charts?
Well,
Right.
we're still in September, which is a down month.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things happening over the next couple of weeks, like the interest rate review, the Solana conference. Believe there's a few other things going on as well.
Yeah, and I saw an interesting post about the sell in May and go away that Bitcoin's, increase or profit over from, excluding that May to September area is significant. So from, October to the end of May, it's, crazy profit. And then, from it's actually the summer months, June through the end of August, or June through the end of August or September, it's just mild. This is moderate. So for those of you who are hodlers and long-term swing traders, you might want to take that into consideration. For me as a day trader, that's not as much of an issue, but for others, you might want to check that out. All right, let's go to the Bitcoin chart and see what we can see. Okay, Bitcoin should be my day chart. Let's minimize that. 58.2 at the moment. And oh, that's not what I wanted. So we are at the 20-day moving average at the moment on the day chart. Still below the 50 and the 200. Regarding the Fibonacci structure I drew several months ago, it has bounced off the 618 a couple times. Got pretty close to the 0.5 way back in August. So these are good stink bid areas, I think. Not financial advice. I've got one in at around, I think, 51,000. So if there's a spike down, I'm gonna grab that. But overall, we're looks like we're up this week. We started in the mid 50s and now we're hitting the high 50s. Still not much of a range on Bitcoin. You know, less than 10%. Well, right around 10%. On Ethereum, on the day chart, 2500 has flipped over to resistance. Don't like that. So we need to break through that, obviously, to make a move on Ethereum. With some of the other layer ones taking over, Solana, Tron, things like that, with some of their projects, maybe put a little bit of a dent in ETH, but I'm sure it'll come back when the overall marketing improves. Okay, any questions, comments about the markets overall before we look for some day trades? Okay. We should start with Doge. It's the 13th of the month where I am, probably the 12th for some of you guys in the US, but on the 13th, it tends to trend up. So Craig turned me on to this situation, 2 years ago or so, Craig? That sound about right?
Yeah, I'm sure it was somewhere way back then. Noticed
So
a pattern.
I just set an alert, a day trading alert on it, and it's done pretty well for me. So I've got a monthly reminder on my calendar. At the moment, we're actually in the red zone, dipping down. So I'll trade this either direction. If it breaks down below the 80, I'll take a short on my leverage trading. As an experienced day trader, I usually trade on 10x leverage. If you're new to this type of trading, to day trading, you're going to want to just stick with spot until you get good at that. And those are going to be longs for the most part. Okay, so this is, for those of you who are new, this is my day trading layout on TradingView. I've got the supply and demand visible range from Algo. It's a free indicator. And the green zone is what I usually call it, is support. The red zone is resistance on this time frame. So when we're in resistance and starting to dip back down, that's something I can short. So you can see here when it breaks into the green zone, which it did once here and a second time here, that can be a really good entry for a day trade on the long side. And then I use the RTI, the relative trend index, for alerts. And my ideal entry, especially on a long, it's going to be something like this, where it breaks below the 20 and then breaks back up, a dip and a retrace. You can see when that happened, we're up to 2.6% on the 15-minute chart. Took about 15 hours. As a day trader, I'm looking for 1 to 1.5% movement on the chart at 10x leverage. As a spot trader, not using leverage, you may want to go for a little bit more, maybe 3% to 5%. In this scenario, if you went for 3%, you might still be in. No, you would have gotten out here after a little over a day. So, not bad on the day trading side on Doge. Okay, so, but that is not something I found via Altcoin Alert. So we're going to head over to Altcoin Alert and zip through some some options. I've got the easy mode off. I'm on the altcoin radar setting. I want all the information, all the columns. I'm going to reload, get the most current information. My first sort is usually an Altcoin Alert AA score sort. And these have been pretty similar most of the time. I think the team is working on it, but I've been trading them anyway. Jasmy's been good to me. And I was looking for Didix. That one's been up here quite a bit. We've got Woo Network. I'm looking for values 80 and higher, but I'll fudge a little and go down to the upper 70s if I'm not seeing what I'm looking for. Then I'm also looking for, personally, something I know I can trade on a leverage exchange. If you're just trading spot, you've got more options. Maybe dabble with some of these lower volume coins. But for now, let's look at, Pepe is something that's been up in the top 10 for quite a while. That one's been moving. BitTorrent, BTT is an older project. Woo, yeah, let's look at that one. 79.5. Haven't looked at it, I think, in a couple of weeks. So good. With a name like Woo, it has to be good, right? So I'm gonna go through my list, find Woo, and click here, and it'll take me to that chart on the 15-minute on this layout. And this looks similar to the Doge chart we just looked at. It's broken above the 80 on the RTI, but dipping down. It did have a nice move when it broke down below the 20. So I'll show you what happened there. It crossed right about here. And oops, let's try that again. That's what I want. So alert probably would have gone off right about here into the red zone, 2.5%, not bad. Maybe if you're going for, deeper into the red zone, you're probably still in that. Maybe if you're going for 4%, you'd be up 2%, but still have a little ways to go. I mentioned alerts, how I do those on this chart. I'll show you a couple different options. Right click on the RTI, add an alert. And for spot trading, you're going to cross up on the 20. So choose crossing up, change this value to 20. Once per bar close, if you want to leave it on all day, it'll stay that way until you turn it off. Alert name, I usually use the information source. If you type it in a few times, TradingView will remember it. AA score purchase. Notifications. Notifying the app on my phone. Show toast notifications, a little pop-up here on my laptop. Play a sound also on my laptop. So if you choose from, I usually go with Chirpy or 3 notes reverb or something like that for day trades, and I often use Handbell for swing trades. We'll look at that one in a minute. Click Create, and that should show up over here on my alerts. Yes, there's the Woo alert. And mark those as red. But that's not the one I'm going to do, so I'm going to delete that one. And if you want to trade both directions on the RTI, we're going to enter a channel. So add an alert, entering channel. And my upper bound is going to be 80, lower bound is 20. Once per bar close, AA score, notifications, I'll just leave that as is and click create. And you'll see it forms a rectangle here. So when it breaks above the 80, it doesn't do anything. But when it breaks back down, it lets me know that, it's coming back down from the red zone. So that's something I'm going to look at. Same thing for a short. On a long, if it dips below the 20 and comes back up, and that's something I'm going to look at for a long trade. So this way I can catch both directions using that enter a channel option. Okay, and then I use this cumulative delta for more trend-based trading. So you can also set alerts. When we had a better defined bull market, I was setting alerts on the 50 on this. So I would catch sometimes 2 trades. It would break below the 20 and come back down, or come back up, and then break below the 50 and come back up. Sometimes it wouldn't make it down below the 20 because the market was pumping, so I'd catch the moves on the 50 instead. Then I would look at the cumulative delta for confirmation. Looks like we have a pretty good example of that here. I tend to use this on like longer day trades. So I haven't used it much in the last couple of months because the market's mostly been going sideways, and I've been doing just dips and pumps and retraces based off of those. Okay, any questions on Woo as a day trade? All right, let's say you don't want a day trade, you got better things to do, you want to set a trade and just check on it from time to time. Got you covered. This is my short-term swing trading layout. I use the same indicator for support and resistance. I'm using the SuperTrend to help me with entries, and the Trendilo LSMA for confirmations, a moving average indicator. And at the moment, we're in a sell. Which is odd. I think a buy, well, yeah, buy should have triggered by now because it's trending up. The LSMA is green, but we're at the red zone of this hour chart. So this is not, you don't want to buy a long position at support. Maybe after it's broken or resistance, maybe after it's broken resistance, you can get in. I know some traders like that. But I prefer dips and retraces myself. So in this scenario, I'm going to go to a longer time frame, see what's going on in the 4-hour. Yeah, we've got a retrace here to about 18.5 cents back from late August, so about 3 weeks ago. So if you want to use that as a guide for a take profit, if you want to get in now on the buy signal, that we're really late on the 4-hour chart. You've got retrace potential to 10%, which is kind of my sweet spot on swing trades, looking for 10, 12, 15%, depending on what the chart shows me. And let's say you want to take this trade, but you don't want to get in this high. You could click on the super trend, select super trend buy. And I'd probably leave this on only once. AA score purchase. And then notifications are going to be the same. I'd probably go with handbell. But bear in mind, it could take a few weeks before it gets back up to where it was before. It's a little longer than I want to stay in a short-term swing. So I think I'm going to pass on this one. But in that alert I just gave you, it's going to have to go through a sell before another buy triggers, and that's probably not going to happen today. Might happen over the weekend. So keep that in mind on that kind of alert. Any questions on Woo as a swing trade? All right, let's look at Altcoin Alert. We'll do a few different types of sorts. I'll probably go a little faster. So, all right, so that was an AA score sort. Another one I like is social activity. I'm going to match that up with trading activity, fire on both, thumbs up on both, or either one. So let's see, we got Trust Wallet Coin, TWT, don't really know that one. SUI. I've had some good results with SUI as a swing trade. We might look at that. All right, yeah, let's look at SUI. And this is on Coinbase, so anybody can trade it. All right, Coinbase chart on the 15-minute. Look at it as a day trade first. And yeah, it's above the 80 in the red zone. Don't like it there. So yeah, I go with that alert. Wait for it to dip below the 20 or at least the 50. It did break above the 50 nicely. So since I showed you the 20 alert before, let's look at the 50. Add an alert on the RTI. You can do this in addition to the 20. Crossing up on the 50. once per bar close. And that is a social activity sort. And yeah, leave that as chirpy. Click create, and you're good to go. But I think I'm going to set this one. Actually, when this one goes off on 50, this is where you'll want to take into consideration your cumulative delta. We have a break here above the 50. You can see how you have the strong action here on the green candles. That's really good confirmation. And obviously, it pumped really hard from there, so that's a really nice setup. Pretty much ideal. Okay, I'm going to bounce over to the 1 hour day trade or swing trading layout. And yeah, this one looks like the last one. We're in the red zone on the 1 hour. Let's look at the 4 hour. Same thing there. Day chart. Yeah, we've got some resistance here at about 141. That would be a great swing trade. So if you got in now, um, this resistance here is pretty good, about $1.14, 15, 10% profit. Here at 35% would be great. Then the bottom of the red zone on the day would be, over 60%, but it could take as long as 168 days. Eek. Way too long for me. Could be a hodl. So on the hour, what I'm going to do is go ahead and set that. I want to catch the next buy alert. Maybe it happens right around here, just hypothetically. And then I'd be looking for probably the top of the red zone, 9.5%. Yeah, that's a pretty good swing. So I'm gonna go with SuperTrend Alert. Choose the buy only once. Social activity sort for my alert name. And then the notifications are the same, but I use handbell to let me know about a swing trade alert. Bear in mind, this only does the handbell sound on your computer. On your phone, it'll be whatever you've set your trading view alert sound to be. Okay, any questions on SUI? All right, so that's two sorts. And then finally, we'll look at a long-term sentiment sort. And I use this more for swing trading, but I will set up alerts on day trading as well. And I'm going to match up very bullish and bullish with the Elder Impulse daily. So I've got sentiment, what people are talking about online, Elder Impulse, technical indicator. We'll match those up. We have SUI again, Bitcoin Gold, BAT. That's an oldie but a goodie. Cody, kind of like that one. That one moves pretty well. Orda, I don't know that one. Monero, that's another older one. Injective. This was recommended by the Crypto Banter group on their daily email yesterday. So let's look at INJ. Is that one on my list? It is. Then we'll get back to the day trading layout. And apologies for my computer. It's a little slower here. It's laptop and Wi-Fi connection. Okay, INJ on the 15-minute looks like the others. So we're above the 80 on the RTI. Had a great recovery off this dip below the 20. So I think that's the way to go. And a nice break above the 50. It almost broke down below the 50 here, but not quite. So I think you're going to want to go with an alert crossing up and go with either 20 or 50 or both. This is long-term sentiment sort. And you might want to change the sound to whatever you're using for day trades. But I'm going to go with the entering a channel. I might short this if it dips below 80. So my upper is 80, lower is 20, once per bar close. And I'm going to change that to 3 notes reverb and click create. And then I've got my day trading setup alert. So when it dips below 80, I'll be aware of it. I can decide if I want to short it or not. Okay, then, and then if it pummels down below 20 and then comes back up, I'll be aware of that as well and take that as a long. And sometimes I have a trade going both directions on the same coin. Okay, on the 1 hour swing trade layout. Yeah, sorry guys, these are all looking the same. So yeah, if you want this, you want to catch the next round when it dips and comes back up. Right click on the super trend and choose buy. And you know the rest. So I think I've got a little more time, so I'm going to sort my list. See if I can find something that's, oh, got an alert. Yeah, even those that have been beaten down the most are still on the red zone. Just sort of trying a few. Let's sort it the other way. And okay. HNT is actually in the green zone now. Might be about the only one. So helium, this is a pretty good setup, and it's so if you catch the next buy on helium, you've got almost 10% of the red zone. That one could be good. This is the only one I've seen in the green zone on either of my layouts. Take a quick look at RTI on this one. Yeah, it's below the 20. So is there any news regarding this coin? Anybody know? I know it's been doing pretty well lately. Let's see, where can we trade this one? It's on Coinbase. Cool. So yeah, I like it as a swing trade. Might want to go back over to the 1 hour and set that swing trade alert on the super trend. Catch the next pump. I might do that. I think I will. So 1 hour chart. I'm going to catch the super trend buy only once. This is long-term sentiment sort. And notifications, I'll go with my handbell for a swing trade. And there we go. Okay, any questions on HNT? Let's head over to Doge. Take a look at that. It was a day trade. Go back to the RTI. Come on, computer. So this is what I don't like on a short, is when it dips below, gives me the alert, and then trends back up. I'd rather see a stronger trend down like this. Or this is even better. Like what we're seeing here, breaks below the 80, but this one I'll probably pass and wait for the next one. Okay, any questions on Altcoin Alert or anything we've gone over? Any coins you want to look at? All right, well, I will wrap it up here. If you're watching on the recording, I appreciate that. Check out the opportunities in the pinned comment to help fund the channel. Rest of you guys, you have a good rest of your Thursday and a weekend. And I'll probably see you on Monday. Check your emails in the Slack group, and I'll let you know. Have a good one. Bye.